Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Wednesday, August 23rd, 2017, and here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market front, over there in Asia, beep. Over there in Europe, bop. Here in the States, boop. But not a lot of boop. Down 90 on the Dow, but hey, yesterday it had one of the best days in 4 months, so not so bad. Up a little bit on Monday. So what's going on here? Well, you know what's going on. The more Trump talks, the lower the markets go. And yesterday he had a rally over there in Arizona, went off script as usual, and that's all the news was about all day long today. Nothing else of any importance. One stupid story a day. It's the prostitute media of the USA. I wonder what the Russians are doing. They didn't get that one in yet. Well, they'll get that tomorrow. So, when you really, though, look at the markets are in a seesaw right now. There's a lot of uncertainty, and it's bigger than Trump. The markets aren't listening to every word that Trump says. Only the stupid media are listening to it, the dumb people that watch the stupid media. So, what's more concerned about are the tax cuts. Are they going to happen? And now Trump is fighting with Mitch McConnell. Yeah. So, are they going to have tax cuts? Because that's what the markets are really about. And the data coming in isn't that strong. Today, for example, we just had new home sales. Single-family home sales unexpectedly fell in July, dropping to their lowest in 7 months. I wonder what will happen if interest rates go up. So, sales declined 8.9% on year-on-year basis. The Mortgage Bankers Association said applications for loans to buy a house decreased last week. And then you're going and looking at that supply and demand issue. Yeah, they got about a 5.8 month supply of homes. And all you've been hearing is that, well, the market's doing what it is because there's not enough supply of homes. That's not true. 6 months is average. So there's more going on. Because if you keep reading, as we do, just going back over some things and putting them together in a globalnomic viewpoint, builders pull back as apartment boom fades. That was Thursday, August 17th, that you know about on Trends in the News. Then you look at others. Biggest hedge fund managers turns defensive on U.S. political concerns. Assets buffeted by Trump headwinds. Warning signs mount as stocks tumble. Oh, when was that? That was a long time ago. Monday, August 21st. Investors withdraw $1.6 billion from emerging markets amid geopolitical tensions. That was Saturday. Reversal hits small caps. Monday. The Russell 2000 is just up a tiny bit this year after gaining a lot. And the small caps are important because they're relying on them tax cuts and that infrastructure building that we're not going to see as things are going now. Investors' view of earnings sour as White House fails to deliver stimulus. One piece of information after another because it keeps on going. Banks lend like rates won't rise. So, sectors of the economy are moving forward, other ones are going backward on different expectations, and today, Wall Street banks warn downturn is coming. But wait a minute. In today's Wall Street Journal, it says banks lend like rates won't rise. And a big story in Bloomberg today, Wall Street banks were warned downturn is coming. HSBC, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley see mounting evidence that global markets are in the last stage of their rallies before a downturn in the business cycle. Analysts at Wall Street's behemoths cite signals including the breakdown of long-standing relationships between stocks, bonds, and commodities, as well as investors ignoring valuation fundamentals and data. It all means stocks and credit markets are in for a painful drop. Okay. Hey, all them central bankers meeting over there in Jackson Hole. Yeah, and that's where they belong, in a hole. Hey, remember Ben Bernanke, our Fed chair? The brilliant Ben Bernanke. Yeah, go back to 2005. Talking about housing before? Yeah, in just 2 years, housing prices increased 25%. And Big Mouth Ben never had a job in his life, a university professor spouting out nothing more than... That
was bullshit.
Yep. He said that increase of 25%, quote, largely reflects strong economic fundamentals. Yeah, the fundamentals of the economy is strong. Go back to 2007. Oh yeah, I took out the domain name, the Panic of '08. But Ben said the global economy was strong. That's right. And the U.S. economy, well, there were a little bit of ripple effects in it, but 2008 would follow another strong year of growth. So who are you going to listen to? Those cats at Jackson Hole that put us in a hole because they don't know how to get us out of this. They're holding on to just 6 central banks, about $16 trillion worth of junk that they bought. They don't know how to unwind this. Are they going to raise interest rates? Well, if they raise interest rates 25 basis points, it's not going to make much of a difference because if you put in inflation, they've only raised interest rates 3 times in 10 years, and you have, just if you add the phony inflation numbers, that's 16.5% inflation rate, raising interest rates 25 basis points isn't going to make a lot of difference, but it will make some difference. It'll make difference on the people that have loans, and goes back to banks lend like rates won't rise. And then you see in the United States, where we have median household income below 1999 levels, that according to the Harvard-Princeton study, the jobs created under Obama, 94% of them, you know what they were, temporary jobs. So when rates go up, oh, that half of the population having full-time jobs and making $30,000 or less, what's going to happen when rates go up? It may keep the markets up, but they're worrying about low inflation. You know what low inflation is? Very simple. Supply and demand. Let's put it back together again. The jobs that created are temporary. Half the country is earning $30,000 or less with a full-time job. Oh, and one more. Because of the central bankers that have given what Dallas Fed President Richard Fisher said back in March of 2016, that the rally was driven by, quote, cocaine and heroin injections into the markets, only the rich got richer. So now we have 20 cats in the United States with more dough than half our nation's population. So let's go back to them talking about low inflation. Supply and demand. People don't have money to buy all those products. That's what's keeping the prices low. End of story. So we're at a critical point here. The wild card is a trump card, and he could play it any time. The markets, you see the concern coming from different levels of the financial marketplace. So, gold is still around $1,300 an ounce. high 1200s. It went up a little bit today. Oil went up because more problems over there in Libya. Yeah, what a surprise. And also our supply over here is dwindling. Yep, there's big drawdowns now. But we still say that oil is in its same range. 55 to 40, that's what we're playing with. So going back to what's going on in the marketplace, going back to gold, going back to cryptocurrencies, those are being looked upon as safe haven assets in a time of geopolitical, social, and economic uncertainty. And speaking of economic uncertainty, another Wall Street story. Volatility plays draw wagers. Bets on stock market volatility are gobbling up a record share of U.S. stock trading. So people are concerned about where it's going. And again, we do not give financial advice. We're just saying, speaking for myself, I like having safe haven commodities. And if you like gold, silver, bitcoins, Ethereum, or whatever, it's your choice. On to some of the other economic news and trends in the news. Advances mean plenty of life left for internal combustion engines. And you remember our trend alert in the Trends Monthly? Electric vehicles to kill gas-powered cars? Don't bet on it. Mazda announced recently it made a big advance in combustion method commonly known as homogeneous charge compression ignition, which would result in gasoline engines that are 20 to 30% more efficient than the company's best existing engines. There's a long way to go before electric takes over combustion. And we've also been saying driverless cars, don't see it happening. We call it the dot-com bubble coming up for the automakers. And as a signal, Apple shifts plans for cars to a shuttle for workers. A notable symbol of the retrenchment in self-driving shuttle service that ferries employees from one Apple building to another. The retrenchment meaning is that it's exactly what we said. Yes, going from point A to point B, you're going to see driverless vehicles. On the highways and the byways, or here in the States and around the world, we're not going to see it happen. We don't believe in our lifetime to any major extent. Apple's backing off. They're going from point A to point B. On to some international news. Saudi airstrike destroys Yemen hotel, kills at least 60. But so what? The bombs are supplied by the United States. We also supply intelligence and refueling for the Saudis to slaughter these people. But boy, oh boy, look what happened in Barcelona, huh? Hey, how about Charlottesville? Slaughter people. Yesterday I read the United States killed over 100 Syrian civilians in Raqqa in 48 hours. Doesn't make the news. But when you kill them white folks, hey, that's not good. And besides, we could kill anybody we want because just ask all the presidents and all the politicians in the United States. We is the exceptionals, the exceptional murderers. And big story here in USA Today, how Trump plans to end the Afghan war. You know, think about it. He's given generals all this authority. Congress is not even in the deal. Just send in more troops. And we pay for the war with our money and our lives and the soldiers that we send over. and the taxes that we give to the military-industrial complex. I say, why not have a referendum? Why not we, the people, vote? I mean, Trump is just, and Obama before him, and Bush and Clinton, they just destroy the Constitution. Congress doesn't even have any say in this. Generals do? Generals who haven't won a war since World War II, of which many people say the Russians won. Yeah, those generals that he puts up on a pedestal, they only see victory, and they haven't shown any. We should have had a referendum on every war that this country gets into, because we're the ones, again, that pay for it with our money and our lives, and I put my money where my mouth is. I launched OccupyPeace.us to stop this kind of insanity. U.S. undercounts troops in Afghanistan. No, not U.S. They just lied to us. No, we don't have 8,500. We got more like 12,000. Yeah, they just lied a little bit. And now they're bringing in more. And no victory in sight. And then finally, to keep making a buck, as they always do, the Clintons, Hillary came out with a new book. Why America Hates Me. No, that wasn't it. I lost because of the Russians. Yeah. Oh, they don't want a woman in the United States as a president. Oh, yeah, but we had a black president. That was okay, but not a woman. No, they didn't want you because you're Hillary Clinton, and you Clintons are disgusting people, and the WikiLeaks showed more of it. So now she's writing this book, and it's coming out very soon in September, and excerpts read by Clinton were played Wednesday morning on MSNBC. They're the prostitute station that keeps selling the crap from the Clintons and the rest of the disgusting Democratic Party. The other stations sell it from the disgusting Republican Party. Not all of them, they're all mixed. But mostly anyway. She goes on to say, with that picture of Trump standing behind a back at one of the debates. This is not okay, I thought, Clinton said, reading from a book. It was the second presidential debate, and Donald Trump was looming behind me. 2 days before, the world heard him brag about groping women. Hey, Hillary, I don't think you had to worry about him groping you. I can't speak for Trump, but seeing some of the women he's been around with, yeah, he got a lot to grope. Anyway, now we are on a small stage, and no matter where I walk, he followed me closely, staring at me, making faces. Hey, can't blame him for making faces at you. Quote, it was incredibly uncomfortable. He was literally breathing down my neck. My skin crawled. Woof! Hey, just to make it clear, if your skin was crawling, man, with all that skin you got out there, it would have been crawling all over the stage, and we would have all seen it. Anyway, it was one of those moments where you wish you could hit pause and ask everyone watching, quote, well, what would you do? Do you stay calm, keep smiling, and carry on as if you weren't repeatedly invading your space? Or do you turn, look him in the eye, and say loudly and clearly, back up, you creep. Get away from me. I know you love to intimidate women, but you can't intimidate me. So back up. Huh. Hey, Hillary, why didn't you say anything? You're saying that you just stood there and smiled with that phony smile that you always got on your face. You know why you did it? Because you're a politician. And all you're used to all your life is having your little boys and girls around you suck up to you, like all the politicians do, as I saw when I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate as a young man. You're not a woman. You're a coward. That's why you didn't say anything. And that's why you lost. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends in the news.